Through storms, unshaken, unbowed. Through trials and verdicts, still standing proud. A titan in the tempest, against the raging crowd. He's got a vision for the future, gonna shout it aloud. Change in the wind, it's coming fast. A new foundation built to last. Cryptocurrency's the key. Make the big switch. Power to the people. Time to teach the rich. Legal battles can't hold him. He's moving on. With plans so bold, from dusk till dawn. He's rewriting the rules. A new dawn's day. From the hands of the few to the people's way.
Welcome, everyone, to the Crazy Kryptonaut channel. I am Zester, and I hope you're having a wonderful Trump day today. We're definitely going to have an interesting conversation this morning, afternoon, evening, wherever it may be for you in terms of what's going on in regards to the cryptocurrency markets, what we're looking forward to, and also we're going to do a short update on where our $0 to retirement challenge is currently at. And then we're going to be adding one more referral link to all of our free Linktree pages. A very easy one today, as a heads up, so everyone knows. I have been particularly busy this week, a combination of different things going on. And so today's stream may be a little bit shorter. And also, today's stream will be the last Crazy Kryptonaut stream inside of this room. And so for all of those who have been very concerned about the gray blotches behind me over the year or so from streaming from here, this will be the final Crazy Kryptonaut stream from this room. So worry not, you will no longer have to see those gray blotches behind me during my streams going into the future. And so it's been a very busy one. The time changed for everybody, which down here in Puerto Rico, our time doesn't change. So mine stayed the same, but everything about my daily work is based off of East Coast time, and I am moving everything out of this room. And so expect some changes to the background and everything of that nature. And my apologies for me being particularly busy, but I would have to say one part of it is out of my control with the move. One part of it is absolutely my fault because I was scheduling things weeks ago for this week, and I did not schedule the fact in, or I did not account for the fact that time was about to change. And so far I have spent Monday, Tuesday, and now today of this week being very overbooked, essentially, because everything moved an hour, but all of my scheduled meetings on Puerto Rican time all stayed the same, which is definitely my fault. I don't know what I was thinking a few weeks ago. For some reason, I thought time changed for the next week. And so my schedule gets back to being normal and not all messed up starting on Monday. But that would definitely be my fault. As I was going through and scheduling things, I managed to double book myself pretty much every day this week. But all right, that's all my little story on that one. Let's jump straight to saying hello, saying good mornings, and then getting in to our news for the day, our update, and our addition to our challenge. What's up, Mile High Trish? Happy Trump Day, Trish. Good morning, Kukla. Happy Trump Day. What's up? Oh, good morning, Nancy. How are you doing, Nancy Kerner? Pete Rose, good morning. So Pete Rose goes, go over why November 22nd is significant for ISO currencies. Well, Pete Rose, the 22nd of November is definitely going to be an important one for a lot of banks because that is the final deadline for the move over for bank messaging to the ISO standards. And so, yes, Pete, it is definitely a significant day. November 22nd of this year is set to be the deadline for banking institutions moving over to the ISO 20,000 2022 standards. And so, yes, exciting one indeed, Pete. An exciting one indeed. Zester, how are Tina, and Tommy doing? They are doing well, Kukla. They're very confused by all the things moving around the house at the moment, but they're having a lot of fun. Good morning, Crazy Chester. Good morning, good morning, good morning, Shannon. Oh, happy Trump Day, musical lady. Expialidocious. Welcome, welcome. Happy to see you here. All right. Yeah, Mile High Trish, that's important. Has everyone set up their link trees yet? We went through and we did that one on one of the previous streams last week. It is very, very easy. It's a free service. You only need the free one, and you don't even really need to have it. I just think that it would be a great way of helping for those who want to participate along the way with the Zero to Retirement Challenge. You're going to end up with a lot of links that are just going to be kind of sitting there. And it's a lot easier if you put them all into one place. That way, if you know someone who might be interested in the Gemini card because they love XRP, when you send them your link, you send them that link tree. They've got the link to the Gemini, and they would also end up having the link to Ledger, which we're going to be adding today. Hey, good morning, Yukon. Good morning. Yes, Kukla, it will be all new room. All new room. The Pac-Man machine will not be there at first, but it will be making a return. And so Pac-Man will be coming back, but it will be in a different place. But it won't be Pac-Man for a little while. But yes, a very important one. Thank you, Kukla. Please do remember the content in this podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes. It is not intended to provide financial advice. So please consult with a financial professional before making investment decisions. Important one. Thank you so much, Kukla. Kukla Zester is one busy guy. I have been way too busy as of recent, but I am very, very excited to maybe get a break sometime soon. Good afternoon, Rocker Mom. Pac-Man will be coming, but he won't be there at first. Hey, hoo, Cuddy Matthews. Welcome. Yes, musical lady. Linktree will help organize our links. I still have to get it set up. Thanks, Esther, for showing us how to get that one set up. That one is musical lady. You're quite welcome, and it will just make things a lot easier for you because then you have one link. You just have one link to send somebody. And actually, let's jump in and let's do that part first. Let's go ahead and do our update on essentially where are we currently at in the challenge. And so markets have gone down drastically during this time, which we'll talk about after essentially the update. But at this point in time, we have two things really running for us. Well, three. We have our scavenger mine for midnight. And so I'm going to go over and talk about kind of where I'm at on that. We've got our Gemini card program where we get to use our Gemini card, replace purchases we were already making by using it, and then we get rewards and returns in XRP. We also have the ability to, for free, recommend it to other folks. And then third that we've gotten set up is Brave Browser, our basic attention token. And that one is going to be a very, very slow grind. You're going to just make a very small amount of crypto over time. That one's not really going to present any impressive numbers anytime soon, but it's convenient. It's easy. You didn't really have to change anything about your day-to-day routine of browsing the internet. And you got all the extra advantages of it being a safer browser, of having ad block, things like that. So that's where we're essentially at. That's what we've set up. Of those things, at this point in time, only one is really paying out. And that would absolutely be the Gemini card program. And so to give everyone an update on that one, I am at $527.36 in earned rewards from the Gemini card. Now, 27.36, so $27.36 of that XRP is from the card program itself, from the 2, 3%, 1% rewards in XRP for using the card. All I'm doing is switching over my normal purchases, my groceries, my electrical bill, things like that. that has come out to $27.36 up to this point in time. The $500 has come from referring 5 people. And so a month or so ago, when I first got it, I sent the Gemini referral link out to people I knew in the industry, family, friends, etc. I'm now starting to get credit for that. And I have at this point gotten 5 of those. When you get 5, that is $50 per person. So you're at $250. You get a $250 bonus. And so I will go ahead. I can show that one. And so you can see my exact numbers. I have spent on the card $1,698 since I started. These were normal purchases. And I have referred 5, which is down over here where it has the 500 for having referred 5 and gotten the bonus. I would highly, highly recommend that everyone take advantage of this Gemini program right now, because this changed the entire challenge. Being able to go from $0 spent to about 500 and some dollars of XRP in this challenge off the get-go was a huge, huge, huge head start. And so I would highly recommend that y'all send out your link to people that you may know. I know that some folks out there already have. I know certain people in the community have earned more than me already from actually sending out their referral link. I got a message from a lady who is at 7 referred folks, and so she is at over $600 earned in XRP from it. That is an extremely easy way to get started on this challenge. And so for right now, of dollars genuinely brought in, it is all Gemini. All Gemini. Gemini has beyond dominated. It has been the far, far easiest one. And I really don't even know where that's going to stop at, because it takes about over a month for you to get credit for the person you referred. And so for all I know, in the next couple of days, I'm going to have 10 more people pop in, and that number's going to jump again. But I don't know. It doesn't really give you that much transparency. But just so everyone knows, if you are sending out your Gemini link, it takes a while for you to get credit. You don't get credit until they receive their first statement. And so you don't have to have spent money. You don't have to have done anything, but it does take time before it tends to start coming in. But it's very, very exciting when it does. I've also found through this process, it's been very easy to use the Gemini card on my daily purchases, because I am at $1,698 spent on the card since I began using it. I connected my bank account with it so as to ensure that I do not ever have a time where I don't pay on time. So you can set it up automatically. That's what I ended up doing. And so I have not had any extra charges. I have not had to pay a dime. I have only bought the things I was already going to buy. And so that one is a slam dunk. Nancy, can people who have bad credit use it too? Nancy, I have terrible credit. I've never had a credit card in my life until I got this one. And so I had essentially very, very, very bad credit scores. And so Nancy, yes, it worked. I would highly, highly recommend that everyone check this one out and that everyone participate. Even if you don't use the card, it's cool looking. If anything, I am constantly happy to take it out because it's a metal card. And so like I've got my XRP and my Gemini and everything. It's a metal card. It doesn't have the numbers on it or anything, so I'm not worried about it being easy essentially to steal or manipulate, but it is. It's free of charge. It's zero cost, zero fee, zero anything. All you got to do is make certain that you don't do silly things with a credit card. And so for me, this is a very new experience, Nancy, by the way. Nancy, I've never had credit in my life. I have always been a huge, 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 huge advocate of never having a credit card or credit. But in this situation, it is really a huge opportunity with crypto and gold and silver being rewards now for certain card programs, because I'm not buying anything that I wasn't already going to buy. I was going to spend $1,698 to survive during this timeline. So I'm now earning free crypto without doing anything other than taking a small amount of extra time each month to make certain that I'm not running up, any type of interest. And so I would highly, highly recommend take advantage of this one, guys, and send it out, because that has been a huge, huge boost towards this entire endeavor. I now have enough money to actually start building a portfolio. Without it, it was going to be a very slow grind going from $0 to something workable. Compliments of Gemini, we have technically gone from $0 in our challenge to what is currently worth $478.48. The reason for that is because the price of XRP has substantially dropped during this challenge. And so we have actually lost about $48.87 off of what I technically brought in. I'm not worrying about that. I intend to hold the XRP. Placing that into perspective, that means that I have brought in for free 213 XRP. 213.75 XRP have actually been brought in regards to the challenge, to place it in the context of actual XRP. So at this point, over 200 XRP. It's actually a substantial percentage of my overall XRP investments in the past. And so that one has been a huge slam dunk. Now, for our update on Brave. Brave is a very, very slow one. And so I have been utilizing Brave browser. Remember, everybody, we set this one up with our, let me get that screen over there. We set that one up inside of Brave. We've got our ads on. I've been trying to make more of a point of clicking on the ads when they pop up down here than I have in the past, and also been using it on my phone. And so made certain that I've been having the Brave browser on my phone as well, so that whenever I'm browsing the internet, I'm using Brave. This one is going to be very, very, very slow. But in terms of a combination across all of my devices, I have brought in about 2 basic attention token. And so to place that into a monetary form, it's not a lot, guys. I have brought in about 40 some odd cents in Brave rewards. In no way has that been a huge slam dunk, but it's slow and steady. It's there. I'm making money for just using the internet as previously I had always been doing. And so those would be 2 of our updates. Gemini is absolutely our number 1 at this point in time. It's not even close. Basic attention token, our Brave browser, very, very slow burn, but it's nice. I'm not doing anything different than what I was already doing. And so that brings us to the scavenger mine. And I'm very excited to hear where everybody else has managed to get on their scavenger mine. How many browsers have you been running? How many computers have you been running? I have had a few different delays on mine with power outages and things, and I've learned a bit. And so I wanted to talk to everyone about this one real quick. With the scavenger mine, I've learned a few things. And so I am not doing particularly amazing at making certain that I have gotten all of them. I've just been too busy. But on my Brave browser, the one that I've been running, I'm at 282.8234 night. And so I'm at about 282 on this one. I've been running, though, throughout this morning and today, so undoubtedly that number will go up. Here is where I've got some updates for everybody. I have had a very, very, very hard time convincing Mozilla Firefox to do this thing properly. And so for all those that are on Mozilla, have been using Firefox, I'm going to go ahead and say I have personally had a horrible, horrible time trying to keep this thing running. It will occasionally run for a few hours, and then I always seem to have an issue. always. And so Firefox has not been a consistent browser for this scavenger mine for me at all. I have heard from other folks the same. And so it seems as if Firefox has been a serious pain in the butt. And Mile High Trish, Firefox stinks. 24 hours of frustration, and I gave up. That's kind of where I am at with it as well, Trish. I am coming in now, and I keep the Firefox browser up. I refresh every once in a while. I click start session. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. And so, as a heads up, if y'all have been experiencing issues with it, you are not alone. But here's the good news. The good news is Chrome is absolutely killing it. I have had 0 issues with Chrome browser or with Brave browser. And so Chrome and Brave seem to be the browsers that are doing this the absolute best. I've had 0 issues with either. Over here on Chrome, it says my allocation is 237.761. And so between one Chrome browser running and one Brave browser running, we are well over 500 night accrued just between those 2 browsers. Now, I am also running it on the laptop that is sitting back over there behind me, off to the side. And so I'm not only running it on this computer, I'm running it on both. At this point in time, I'm at about 1,000 midnight tokens. So everybody out there is going to be at a different point. I didn't end up getting as many running on my computer as I was planning on. I got too busy. I got a bunch running, and then they had problems, and I didn't get them all back. So my number is set to increase. My overall earn rate in terms of the amount of time is set to increase because I've got more and more running and more of them running properly now. But at this point, I'm at about 1,000 midnight accrued from using the laptop, using the computer, using everything that I can to mine. And so that would be where I am currently sitting at in terms of the challenge. That's one number that we really don't know what it's worth yet. At a $21 billion market cap, to give you an example, that 1,000 night would be over $1,000 US at a $21 billion market cap. But we do not know what the price and market cap of Midnight is going to be when it launches. We don't know. It might be 20 cents a token. It might be 1 cent a token. It might be $1 a token. We do not know. And so that night token, this midnight that I'm earning towards the challenge and that I'm stockpiling away, it is very much I'm not certain. And so at this point in time, we have got our XRP that we are earning through Gemini. We're at about $470 some of value, over $500 earned. Our basic attention token, we've got like 2 of them. And so we've got like 40 cents that have come in from there. And then we've got our midnight, where at this point I would be at right over 1,000 night tokens earned. That number is going to keep going up while the scavenger mine continues. So I'm going to try to capitalize on that one as much as possible to get as many of these sitting in the portfolio as I possibly can. And that actually brings me to today's addition to the program. And that addition is going to be in the form of Ledger hardware wallets. And so this is one where many folks, some folks in the community might not be able to participate because maybe you don't have a Ledger, maybe you're a fan of a different hardware wallet. But for all those who do own a Ledger hardware wallet, and you guys know I'm a big proponent of Ledger hardware wallets. That's what I've got sitting all around my desk. That's just what I'm used to. And so as a part of this program, essentially, I'm starting from the beginning without spending money. And in doing so, that means that I am currently only utilizing software wallets because hardware wallets cost money. And so what I am going to be doing is I'm going to be taking my Gemini earnings, and I'm going to be making a purchase of a Ledger hardware wallet specifically for this challenge. And so I'm going to make that purchase of a Ledger hardware wallet with the 500 and some dollars that have brought in. So I'm going to spend some money that has been brought in order to get a hardware wallet. And the reason is I need a place to store this crypto. It'll be a lot easier to organize it all together, and it'll be safe for the long term. And also because I want to participate in this reward program. And so y'all will have seen this link already on the Crazy Cryptonaut, because you can partner with Ledger after you have purchased a Ledger. You're not allowed in this referral program unless you own a Ledger. And so that's why for the challenge, I'm going to be buying one with the earnings that the challenge so far has gotten, because I'm following the rules to the T. If you already own a Ledger, you don't need to do anything. All you need to do is pull up Ledger Live. And so that's what we're currently looking at. You will navigate to refer a friend over here on the left, and then you will copy your link, which is your specific referral link. And so you'll just need to come in, sign in. If you already have one, if not, you're going to copy a link, create a brand new one. You're going to take that link over and you're going to input it into your link tree. That way, whenever you are sending something out and you're saying, hey, bro, you should totally be using the Gemini card. It's free money. Well, a few months after he starts using the Gemini card, he's going to say, well, what do I do with this crypto? It's right there in the link. Go for a Ledger hardware wallet. So how does this program work? Refer a friend to Ledger wallets, get up to $20 of Bitcoin. Well, how it ends up actually working, I will break down using my own link. And so because I'm so used to this program, let's go over to the Crazy Cryptonaut link tree. And so when you place your link in, what's going to happen is if somebody were to click on it, or if you were to order another hardware wallet for yourself, this is what will pop up. Welcome to Ledger. Receive up to $20 worth of Bitcoin when you purchase your Ledger device. You will essentially, you as the referrer will get the Bitcoin, and the referee who makes the purchase will get the Bitcoin. If they do not use your link, they get no free Bitcoin. They still pay the same price. And so this program really is awesome because it's a win-win-win. You win by recommending it. They win by using your link. If they don't use the link, they don't get the money. You don't get the money. This is one of those no-brainers type deal. Same idea with the Gemini card. It's free. Why wouldn't you? You're only going to benefit in this in the long run. This is another one of those. That's why I really, really love how Ledger's program works, because it's a win-win. Both sides are winning out of this. Everyone is benefiting because they heard about it from you. If they just went to ledger.com, they're spending the same amount of money and they're not getting free Bitcoin. So depending upon which ledger the person chooses to purchase will change how much you receive in Bitcoin. And so if somebody picks the Nano S Plus, they get $5 of Bitcoin and you get $5 of Bitcoin. Someone chooses the Ledger Stack, you get $20 of Bitcoin and they get $20 of Bitcoin, et cetera, et cetera. You can go through the whole list here. You can see all the things of that nature. $10 for a Nano Gen 5, 5 for S Plus, 10 for X, et cetera, et cetera. And so this is going to be the next addition to the program. We're going to be adding in a Ledger referral link. And I'm going to be at the same time acquiring a place to store this Zero to Retirement challenge. That way, when we receive our midnight, I will be able to withdraw from my burner wallets that I've used software wallets to create. I'll be able to withdraw my midnight and I'll be able to hold it over on a Ledger, on a hardware wallet. Same thing with the XRP that's accruing over on Gemini. I'll be able to remove the XRP from Gemini and I'll be able to put it onto a hardware wallet. So this, for me, is serving two purposes. In all honesty, I'm gaining another way of generating more crypto, and I'm gaining a way of guarding and protecting my crypto. I would highly recommend for all of you out here who already own a ledger, just use the one that you already own. I'm the only one that's going to be trying to follow this challenge to the T and really going above and beyond. And so I'm going to be buying a new one with the crypto that has been earned from Gemini so as to follow the rules of the challenge. For everyone else, totally use one if you have it. Now, if you are not a Ledger user, other hardware wallets have different referral programs. I'm not certain how those look, but if you are to be one of those folks who's just not a Ledger user, go look at your hardware. You may also have the similar type of program that you can add to your link tree, and it'll just be very easy. Because now, for those of you all out there who are following along with the free link tree, you'll have your Gemini card and you'll have your Ledger link. Two-stop shop, or one-stop shop, essentially, for sending that out to folks. This is another one that I would highly recommend if you have a Ledger. This is a no-brainer. It's like the Gemini. It's one of those just very easy things. You're going to be meeting more and more folks over the coming months and the coming years that are going to be moving their crypto over, going to be buying hardware wallets. This is a conversation you're going to have. I know it may seem like one that you won't, but I'm pretty certain that everybody out there, if you have a referral link made and ready, you're going to find opportunities to use it in the coming months as we start to see a huge amount of people in the coming years, months, days that are going to be learning about and moving money and value and currencies over to blockchains. We really are. What is it? It's like 12 or 13% of the entire American populace is really aware of this. It's going to it's going to gain a lot of steam. There's going to be a lot of people buying these types of things. It's a no-brainer to have. It costs you nothing, especially if you already have that hardware wallet. So that will be my addition to the program at this point in time. That link is going to be added as soon as I acquire the new Ledger, and we'll start having an update on how well it's doing. And I'm going to continue sending that one out. Of course, guys, if you meet people and you say, hey, I'm going through and I'm doing this awesome, cool challenge. We're trying to see how much we can earn for free. Go check out the channel. Make certain that if you recommend these videos or jumping into this to anyone, send them your link tree first. Have them use your links. That way you can send folks over here to ask questions from me, but you can also make certain that you're getting credit for it when you do. I am happy to have that going on. All right, though, let's see what I have missed, and let's see how everybody else has done on their scavenger mine. All right, yep, here we go. And so AV, Brave, Chrome, and Edge do well. Yep, Firefox is just not doing it. Gary said Firefox was great once. It's gone downhill. Yeah, absolutely. And so we are not seeing any success all around. I'm not alone on that one. But Chrome, Brave, and Microsoft Edge all seem to be working perfectly for this. And so, well, I would recommend not even bothering with Firefox unless you're just doing like me. I've just got it up there. I'm not worrying about it. I click refresh every once in a while. A hope and a prayer. Linda Rule, can I make automatic payment at the end of the month for the Gemini card? Yes, you can, Linda. And so mine is set up for automatic. That way, in case I do mess up and I forget about it, I don't end up paying any interest. So yes, Linda, you absolutely can. Amy V here. Oh, howdy, Amy V. Question on the Brave browser marketing. Do I go with Uphold or Brave Wallet? Problem is Brave Wallet will only let me use Solana and not Ethereum. AV, that's very odd. You can definitely use Brave Wallet, and I think what you're going to need to do is go to your settings and change your network. And so, Amy, I think that your Brave Wallet may just be maybe previously set to Solana. And so Brave Wallet should be Ethereum and Solana and all the other EVM compatible chains on top. And so, yes, I would have to look into that one. I would have to look into that one for you, Amy, because Brave Wallet definitely should have it, but there's nothing wrong with using Uphold or another wallet. Uphold came through Brave, and so Uphold and Brave work together amazingly. And so, Amy, also, I wouldn't worry about it. You're just fine using the Uphold or the Brave wallet for that. No real worry about either one. Nancy K, how do we start that up? Well, Nancy, we've got some videos started on it. And so the one that I would definitely recommend is getting your scavenger mine running, because your scavenger mine is only going on for the next 14 days. And so right over here, you got 14 days. I have a 9-minute long video, Nancy, that I released last week that shows you exactly how to set it up in 9 minutes. It really is. It's not a bad one, and I highly recommend everybody at least have one or so going. We do not know what these midnight are going to be worth. For all we know, we could be seriously bringing in some extra free dollars. We also might not be getting much of anything, but we spent nothing doing it. And so it's a bit of a gamble in that sense. We may end up getting a large reward from this, or we may end up getting a fairly minute reward. I don't know. Nobody does, but it's free. And so we're not going to miss out on a free opportunity, are we? All right. Yep. My eye, Trish, I had 4 computers running, but one just gave up. Now just 3 computers with 9 sessions total. 9 sessions running on 3 computers. That's awesome, Trish. I don't even want to know what your number's at. You're probably trouncing my 1,000. You are probably trouncing it. All right. All right. Scrolling through. Nancy, thank you so much for hitting the thumbs up button. Nancy K. Lobster is a slow withdrawal format that takes 3 to 5 days to get. Do you suggest I move my XRP into Coinbase? Nancy, I highly recommend, if you're going to be on a centralized exchange, I recommend Coinbase. But ultimately, Nancy, I would start getting it moved over and working on getting your XRP over to a hardware wallet. Any hardware wallet you so choose. I always recommend Ledger, but in all honesty, that is really one of those things where all I care is that you have it on a hardware wallet. I don't care what company, what brand, what anything. I just really recommend that folks move towards a hardware wallet at some point, a more secure solution for the long term. But Nancy, I would. I like Coinbase is my centralized exchange nowadays. It's my go-to centralized exchange. Is it perfect? No. It has tons of problems. Do I trust them? No, not really. But I also don't trust any centralized exchange. And so I trust them to provide the service I need. I need to be able to get dollars into crypto and crypto into dollars. And I use Coinbase for that. So yes, Nancy. I wouldn't be in a rush though at all on that one. Miss Nancy, I would not be on a rush. I don't think that you have anything to worry about with rushing it, but I would highly recommend you put it on the to-do list for at some point. All right. Oh, Nancy, I have a mental block using my Ledger wallet. I understand, Nancy. I understand. It seems like a lot when you first get started on it, but it is. It's a learning curve that definitely is far more intimidating than it actually is difficult. It is far more intimidating. Nancy, I would definitely go at it slow. Send just one. And absolutely, always, Trish has become more than just a professional at everything ledger related and such. And so you've got great helpers around here as well, Nancy, on that one. Absolutely. Jeremy, Wind Moon. Not today. And so with that, we've gone through our update. I'm going to jump over. We're going to do some quick news, which isn't going to be fun, guys, just so you know, because, well, the markets suck. Markets aren't just bad. They real bad. Bitcoin is currently sitting at $103,475. Ethereum sitting under 3,500. XRP sitting at $2.27. BNB 962. You'll actually notice that USDC and Tether have been extremely popular over the past couple of days because people are literally fleeing to stable coins out of Bitcoin and their other cryptocurrency assets. We have seen a fairly precipitous drop with the beginning of November, and we didn't have a great October either. And so we did manage to see during this dip, and this one's not going to be fun to look at in the slightest, we managed to see market cap drop surprisingly below 2 trillion, $99,607 Bitcoin. We lost the $100,000 mark for a very, very short time. Bitcoin's price is currently struggling immensely. And the fact that we managed to drop below 100,000 has got a lot of crypto holders in very much a panic at the moment. Yes, always a good time to remember, though, Jeremy, 1 Bitcoin equals 1 Bitcoin. That is something that everyone does need to remember. That's the same reason that when we looked at our XRP that we've earned through the Gemini program, the more important number is how many XRP have we earned, not what the value of it is at this exact moment, because you don't plan on selling it at this exact moment. And so it is much more important to worry about how many you've managed to acquire, not how much that one is worth exactly right now. It's a much better mindset to take because ultimately 1 Bitcoin is going to be worth 1 Bitcoin, 1 XRP, 1 XRP. But yes, we are looking at a very rough market at the moment. Definitely a buying time, but there are a lot of folks that are quite worried about where things are currently going. Bull or bear market, traders panic as Bitcoin dips below the 365-day moving average. That's a fairly substantial metric to move below. That's the overall MA on a 365-day timeline. That means essentially we are trending lower than we were about a year ago in terms of the market. And we're going to see these constantly, all the time. Bitcoin fell below 99,000 on Tuesday, breaching a key macro indicator and reigniting debate over the market's state. Dipped below the 365-day moving average, according to Julio Moreno, head of research at data analytics platform Crypto Quant. Final confirmation to the start of the 2022 bear market. The price needs to cross back above it quickly. And so the price has since slightly recovered. Bitcoin trading at 101,800 at the time of publication. We know now with an extra hour or so of the future that we have climbed even further above that one, thus having broken back above the 365-day moving average. But in this case, viewing it as a particularly weak sign overall. And, well, it's led to a lot. Bitcoin price rebound stops at 103K with 30% of Bitcoin supply underwater. Bitcoin unrealized losses reached nearly 1/3 of the supply, even before BTC price fell to multi-month lows below $100,000. So, almost 1/3 is now being held at an unrealized loss. What does this mean? Just as a clarification for everyone, underwater means that 1/3 of all Bitcoin holders are losing money right now. They've spent more money buying their Bitcoin than they have. 30% of the entire, or well, about 1/3. So about 33% of all Bitcoin holders are in the red. Is maybe that an easier way of kind of explaining that one? Essentially, 66% of Bitcoin holders are in the green. 33% of Bitcoin holders are in the red. And so there is a large amount of people currently holding Bitcoin that if they were to sell right now, they would take a loss. This is always viewed as kind of both a good and a bad thing, because typically people tend to be a little bit stronger actually with a hold when they are in the red, because, well, they're waiting. As long as the market doesn't continue to trend extremely far downward, it usually means they're going to be willing to hold until at least they get back to even. But this is considered to be a substantial metric. And I actually do not remember the last time that we have had such a large portion of Bitcoin holders in the red. Pamela Plasted. Yep, there you go. BlackRock dumped millions of Bitcoin and ETH a day or so ago. It was posted on X from someone. Yes, Pamela. And so whale watchers noticed massive amounts dumping out of BlackRock and other ETFs over the past few days. One of the very nice things about the blockchain is that we're able to really confirm those things so quickly. But we also, just because we can see that it happened, we don't necessarily know what their strategy or thought process is. But yes, Pamela, we saw a massive amount dump out of BlackRock. And it always makes you wonder whether they are not manipulating the price to buy in at a lower value. With everything going on in the world in terms of cryptocurrency, how strong the market is globally at the moment, it feels a little bit of an odd time to have such a precipitous sell-off from someone like BlackRock. Oh, Kuka Zester, your pop says sourdough and muffins will bake lemon poppy seed next week. Oh, man, I'm excited, Kuka. I am excited. That is awesome. I'm going to have to go see where he is hiding those. All right, though, for our last one, and then I'm going to run off on everyone for the day. Actually mentioned it very much at the beginning. I forget, and I'm very sorry to whoever asked the question about it at the beginning. I've lost your name now, and I know I won't be able to find it in the scroll, but we did have someone ask at the very beginning to talk about November 22nd. November 22nd of this year, the global payment network SWIFT will end the coexistence period for the legacy MT message format, and it will fully transition to the ISO standard for cross-border financial institution to an institution payments. This deadline, reconfirmed by the SWIFT board in June of 2024, marks the point at which banks must operate exclusively in the ISO format for these transactions. For everyday customers, the change will be largely behind the scenes, but will enable richer, more structured data in payments, leading to fewer delays due to missing information, improved fraud detection, and more reliable cross-border transfers. However, institutions not ready by the state may face payment delays, increased costs, or processing issues. While the ISO standard itself does not make cryptocurrencies like XRP compliant, it creates opportunities for blockchain-based solutions such as RippleNet by aligning traditional financial messaging with more efficient data-rich payment rails. This was very, 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 very much an exciting one. I know that folks are very excited about it, but you do need to keep in mind it is a banking standard messaging. It is banking messaging standards that are changing specifically for cross-border payments on this deadline. It's going to be very interesting to see what that means for RippleNet, because a very important point here, and one that I always, I know it seems so nuanced and it seems like a bummer, is that XRP and no cryptocurrency are technically ISO. The blockchains that they operate on are ISO compliant. And so that's what makes this so exciting, is that this is going to be very much the beginning of a lot more interest and a lot more focus on RippleNet. The blockchain and solutions coming from the XRP Ripple team, maybe not necessarily XRP itself. And so I'm very excited for the 22nd. I think that it's going to change the conversation about ISO drastically. And it's going to put a really big, it's going to be a very big advertisement for all of the ISO tokens. I think it's going to be great for the Stellars, the H bars. It's going to be great for XRP. It's going to be great for a long list of different ISO projects. And it will also start to get the first indications of how are the non-ISO compliant projects, how quickly do they become ISO compliant, which I think is going to be a very, very important part of this. It's going to see how enforcement really works out and how quickly do we see other projects snap their finger and become ISO compliant. I think that you're going to see certain projects snap their finger and they're going to become ISO compliant. And I think that's going to be something that some folks weren't expecting, is that you're going to see certain companies, certain projects are going to be that easily able to add it in, but we will see. We will see. I'm very, very excited for it. What's up, Michael? I finally wised up and subscribed, so I'm notified when you're on. Good morning, sister. Good morning, Michael, and thank you so much for the subscription, man. Thank you so much for joining the Crazy Cryptonauts. You're in the right place. All right. Thank you guys all so much for joining. This will be the last Crazy Cryptonaut stream in this room. But don't worry. Don't worry. We're not going anywhere. We're just going to be coming live from a different room in the future. So love you guys. Thank you all so much for joining. I will see y'all on Friday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time with our next update on the crypto retirement path. And we will probably be adding another way of bringing in some small amounts of crypto, some more avenues to bring in some free dollars. We'll be adding another one on Friday. So, all right. Love you guys. See y'all soon. Yeah, absolutely. It's not too late to join the Midnight Challenge. There's still 342 opportunities to earn tokens. Absolutely, Trish. Absolutely, folks. Be on that one. If you know folks that aren't on it, tell them about it. I think they may really appreciate it in the future. All right, though. I'll stop getting distracted. Love you guys. See you soon.